doors are open on the House of Wellness. Today, children see, children do. We learn about your role as a role model.
We find out why a great-looking handbag may not be so great for your body.
We learn about the power of the sun and ask if skin cancer is on the rise.
85% of us don't know how to use sunscreen properly.
Plus, we look into what really happens to your body when you give up smoking.
Carbon monoxide levels decrease.
All that and much more coming your way today.
So let's all get well, stay well, live well and look fabulous.
Right here in the House of Wellness. Hello everyone, welcome back to the house. We're just hearing about the dangers of high fashion to the welfare of women.
It is true, we suffer in the name of fashion, particularly for that special occasion, but should we be more aware of the effects it's having on our bodies, Ed?
For women, apparently your handbag could be the cause of your neck pain. What are you putting in that thing? It's not
It's heavy, it's heavy.
It's not a CrossFit session.
No, it isn't,
Kettlebells?
but it should be. Also, best known to our audiences for her role as Evelyn Evie Maguire from Home and Away, Philippa Northeast will be joining us on the sofa.
Looking forward to that.
And we have GQ in the hot seat. As always, he'll be answering your calls and questions.
Now, don't forget, you can find us at this fabulous website, houseofwellness.com.au. Gerald is, of course, reachable there. You can email him directly with any questions you have.
Yeah, but keep it about the vitamins,
Okay,
right? Keep it
good
about
point.
the vitamins.
She makes a good point.
Now, there's loads of great health tips on the website, but you can also call us, 1800 469 788.
Yeah, have your questions live on the show. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook. We are here and everywhere waiting for you.
We are everywhere.
Now, we're all guilty of telling our kids, do as I say, not as I do. We know that phrase.
Yes.
But what impact does this behaviour have on our children?
You know, as I get closer to becoming a mum, I know I want to be a great role model for my child, but does this mean I have to change everything about myself? And I'm very, very nervous.
It does, Zoe. Yeah, it really does.
It's over.
Here to help us understand our role in being a role model to our children, we are joined by the Chief Happiness Officer, Dr. Tim Sharp. Nice to see you again, mate.
Thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh, I'm nervous about this one.
This is an important lesson, though, because our kids really copy what we do, don't they?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. If you've ever said that saying, do as I do, not as I do as I say and as I do,
Yes.
then you're part of the problem.
Right.
It just doesn't work. Kids will take much more notice of what you do. You're wasting your words, and in fact, you're sending them conflicting message. So they don't necessarily have to change everything you do, but
Yeah.
you do want to look at the big behaviours, the important ones, and as much as possible, be a role model.
So our behaviour affects them, right? So what is it that we can do to be watching our behaviour? Because we don't want to change who we are as individuals, we just want to tweak it slightly.
I mean, just a little is all I'm just a
I
little.
hate to tell you that you will change once you become a parent.
Yeah,
That's
true.
it. But the other part of that, so look, again, the simple rule is do what you want your kids to do. Role model the behaviours that you like them to grow up.
No more tantrums. That's a note to myself.
As much as possible. But at the same time, what's important is to remember that none of us are going to be perfect. So as a parent or as our kids, we're going to stuff up sometimes, we're going to make mistakes. So what's also important to role model is how to say sorry, how to learn from our mistakes. It's actually important as a parent to talk about that. I think in generations past they wouldn't, because I think we thought we had to be perfect, but that's gone now.
I should think a couple of really important ones to set the template for their life is food choices. It's a daily discussion, isn't it? And health, fitness. If they see your parents working out, being healthy, doing those things, that's some of the behaviours I like to see my kids emulate.
No doubt about it. You know, if I'm sitting on the couch watching TV all day, telling the kids to get out and play and exercise, that's not going to work. But if they see me going to the gym or going for a run regularly, as I said, if they see me eating fruit and vegetables and a healthy lifestyle, again, you don't have to be perfect about these things, but if they see you doing that more often than not, that becomes the norm, and it becomes their norm as well.
So what kind of lifestyle changes do we have to make that can also be fun and easy for new-time parents?
Well, you've actually hit on two really key points there. That as much as we can make desirable behaviours enjoyable and pleasurable and fun, then they're going to be easy to do. We're more likely to do things that are fun. So if exercising is fun, we're more likely to do it. If eating vegetables is fun, and there's all sorts of tricks you can do by designing the plate, etc., And when we also want to make them easy, we want to remove as much as possible any distractions. So, you know, don't have as much as you can bad foods in the house.
Right.
You know, if it's easy to grab a packet of chips, they'll do that. But if it's easy to grab some pre-cut carrots, they'll take that instead. Also
an important one, as I was mentioning to you when they're young, watch your language when you're driving, because they're listening in the back.
They are, they're still there.
Sometimes they'll repeat some of the words that you've said as well. A nice little sum up for parents on doing as we say, not as we do.
Again, role model the behaviours you want them to develop. Get involved in it, so do it as a team, you know, it's part of a family. And as we said, make it as fun as you can.
Oh, it's always so great having you here. I really need you around for this stage in my life. So thank you so much, Dr. Tim.
Good on you, Dr. Tim. Now, being the type of person that I want my kids to be is easy when it comes to being sun smart. Now, teaching them the importance of sunblock is something, well, I kind of do it all year round.
And as we all know, too much exposure to sunlight is harmful and will damage the skin. So to find out the best protection possible as summer hits Australia, we sent Lynette Bolton to investigate.
Australia is famous for having some of the most beautiful beaches in the world. Millions of people flock to our shores every year to have a splash, a play, and bask in the summer sun.
Look, it actually wasn't that long ago that we'd all head to the beach and lie in the sun for hours in search of the perfect tan. Oils, foils, and not a hat in sight. These days, we're definitely more aware of the dangers of the sun. But is the sun-safe message really getting through?
If anyone was qualified to answer this question, it would be Professor Sanchia Aranda, CEO of Cancer Council Australia.
Cancer Council over many years has promoted skin cancer awareness, and government campaigns have done that, although we haven't had one since 2007. Probably our most famous campaign is the Slip, Slop, Slap campaign. Everybody remembers Sid Seagull.
Slip, slop, slap, na-na, in the sun this summer, say, slip, slop, slap.
In Australia, the correct application of sunscreen is critical to ensuring you're getting the best protection you can this summer. As a nation, we have one of the highest rates of skin cancer in the world. So you would think we would be good at the sunscreen thing. The Cancer Council recommends you use a broad spectrum, water-resistant SPF 30 or higher sunscreen. To create a really good protective barrier, you need to slop it on at least 20 minutes before you head out into the sun. An adult needs to apply about 7 teaspoons of sunscreen on each arm, each leg, your chest, back, neck and face. And you absolutely must reapply every 2 hours.
And so awareness of skin cancer has really improved, but we're starting to see some decline in behaviours. So our most recent sun behaviour survey, for example, showed that only 43% of us use a hat on weekends. And work by the Australian College of Dermatologists has found that 85% of us don't know how to use sunscreen properly.
I love a day at the beach, and these days there's really no excuse for not looking after your skin while you're in the sun. There is a whole arsenal of products available to help protect yourself, like sunglasses, hat, shirts, super high SPF sun cream, and pop-up tents. And if you're a little bit worried about missing out on all of that sun goodness, never fear. Try a sun cream like this one. These claim to let in all the good vitamin D, but keep out all of those nasty UV rays.
In general, rates of skin cancer increase in Australia about 1% every year. But if that stat sounds acceptable, the reality is that approximately 1,800 Aussies have died from skin cancer in 2017 already. So this is something that affects all of us.
I've lost a few mates from skin cancer that were pretty young, and yeah, I think everyone's a bit more aware of it now. And if you can, I mean, you get pretty protective of your kids, so you want to make sure you look after them as much as you can.
If you plan to go out in the sun this summer, stay with us because skin cancer affects all of us.
I've actually got a family history of melanoma.
We find out why your handbag is giving you a pain in the neck.
And joining us on the sofa later, one of Australia's most exciting up-and-coming actresses, Philippa Northeast, will be here. That and so much more after the break.
the show, I met Sanchia Aranda, CEO of Cancer Council Australia, and she was adamant that Aussies need to learn how to use their sunscreen properly.
We recommend around about a teaspoon for each limb, your back, your front, and for your head and neck areas. So 35 mils for a full body application. So that's really important. But also making sure that you don't see it as a suit of armour.
According to Sanchia, the other very important thing to remember is that UV rays don't take holidays. The sun's ultraviolet energy, or UV rays, can be just as strong on cloudy days and even on clear days in winter.
It's UV, not heat, that causes sunburn and therefore skin cancers. And whenever the UV is over 3, use shade wherever possible.
In Australia alone, skin cancer accounts for around 80% of all newly diagnosed cancers. So I spoke to some of our fellow beachgoers to see if these stats rang true.
I've actually got a family history of melanoma, so I've had a family member pass away when he was only 38, who had 2 young children. So it's definitely a real consequence of too much sun exposure.
I know my grandma had, towards the end of her life, a lot of skin grafts, a lot of cancerous cells cut out of her face, which unfortunately wasn't too nice. She was a bit of a beach babe back in the day.
As Aussies, the other thing that is very important is to get regular checkups at least once a year.
Do you get your skin checked?
Yeah, I do. I've had 2 large spots on my shoulders, both taken removed.
Yep.
That was close to 2 years ago, and I get religiously checked yearly.
So, have we won the battle against skin cancer? Well, not quite, but we're certainly making progress.
So if you want to really enjoy yourself this summer and do it safely, there's 5 simple steps. Slip, slop, slap, seek and slide. Oh, that's quite catchy. There could be an ad in that.
And Lynette is back with us now, covered in so much clothing there on Bondi Beach, the most dressed person.
You've got to be careful in the sun, Ed.
But it's surprising, even after all the marketing, all the catchy jingles and stuff, campaigns for decades, we still don't quite know how much we need.
Well, I think the thing is, as well, is we haven't actually had a campaign in about 10 years. So maybe that's the thing, we need to get back to those campaigns. But I agree, people know that they need to put sunscreen on, but how much do we put on, how often do we reapply? They're the things that we're not really sure about.
And is there a danger that when we do apply too much, we don't get the good bits that the sun provides?
We do need to go out in the sun, that's a fact. The sun has vitamin D, which is essential for kids and adults, and if we don't get that, there's a whole range of other issues that you can experience.
So this is clever.
This is super clever. This is Solar D sun cream.
Right.
This lets in all the vitamin D, but keeps out all the bad stuff. So that's a really good investment.
You know what? Your daddy was a pharmacist, your mummy was a doctor. You've learnt well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks
They'd
for
be
sharing your
pleased.
knowledge.
Yeah.
All right. Slip, slop, slap for you.
Seek and slide.
Yeah. Zoe.
For some women, her handbag can be the most expensive item in her wardrobe. And while that gorgeous handbag or tote may be great for carrying around all the things we need day to day, chances are it could be ruining your neck. To explain why, we are joined by our feel-good physio, Anna-Louise Bouvier. Welcome.
Hi.
This could be tragic.
I know. It could be, but it is. It is so
tragic.
So many women I see in my clinic, neck pain, headaches, all that kind of stuff, it's their handbag.
So what is the problem? What are we doing wrong?
Well, this is Brenda, my skeleton. She's very disabled,
Brenda.
but she's very good. She's lost her head and everything else. What you can see here, there's actually this thing called a plexus, which is kind of a whole bunch of nerves that go down from your neck, down into here, down into your arm and down into your fingers.
Ooh.
And so you can sort of see almost immediately, if you think about the weight of so many of the handbags that most of us carry, what happens is it scrunches down there, compresses there, and you get pins and needles, neck pain, headaches, all that sort of stuff, just from your bag being too heavy.
Oh gosh, okay, I brought in a couple of mine. I know one is going to be a disaster.
Yeah.
This is my travel bag. Yeah. So it's usually really heavy and I'm going
just such a
into
disaster.
state.
So
tell me what's wrong.
Just think about that, particularly those straps on there, like it just can create so much thing. And especially when you think about the weight of it, like there's no good way to carry it. A big part of the problem is that, you know, if you think about what we carry these days, say, compared to, you know,
the
Jacqueline,
dainty little...
Exactly, that's right.
I know, you just carry it around like this, right?
Exactly. And they just carry it, they used to carry it on their elbows too.
Where do they put their water?
See? They didn't have water, they didn't have coffee, no phone, nothing. No store cards, nothing.
Right?
So I think that is a complete disaster. It's also because it's so soft.
Yes.
Often if you go for something, say, with this one, this is my work bag, but you can see it's quite structured.
Okay.
So you can see that if you've got something that actually holds its own structure a bit and has a slightly wider, thicker strap that's a bit padded, then that distributes the load a little bit on your neck.
So this is another one of my bags.
Yeah.
And this one, because I have been having a sore neck, I can wear.
Yeah.
And I don't feel as much pressure.
cute.
It's light. Sorry, it's got my initials so no one can steal it. But it's light and I'm finding it.
Exactly. And the strap is a little bit wider.
Okay.
And the other thing with a smaller bag is you can't fill it as
Right.
much. What about the nicest thing is if you cross-body it.
Yes.
And so the beautiful thing with cross-body...
Free hands.
I know. And it just totally takes the pressure off your neck. So, like, my absolute favourite bag is a small cross-body bag.
Okay.
And something that sits flat to your body as well. So the bigger it sits like this, the more weight it has.
We can't always avoid carrying a big bag.
Yeah.
How should we be carrying a heavy bag?
Well, this one's quite good because it's got a bit of a combination. You've got the option to carry it with the elbow, but you've also got a long enough, thick enough strap that you could carry it across your body.
Yes.
So with you, like if you look at that one, so put that one across your body, you can see that actually having it nice and low there on your hip is really good. Very smart.
Yes.
And also then, if you want to actually, if it's super heavy, you do the both.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can actually do the...
Perhaps on my side saddle fanny pack here?
You are so dead.
Wow, your highlighter's in there too.
You can see that this is absolutely perfect.
Powder.
It's what he carries his necessities.
Know, you're just so gorgeous.
So handy.
Thank you.
The nice thing is with this that it sits so beautifully, like in certain parts of your anatomy, and
it really does.
It also means that you've got no pressure on your neck at all.
And I'm mobile.
You're mobile.
Well, that's what we all need. We need a bum bag. They are coming into fashion. What are some tips on buying the perfect bag?
It's really hard to buy the perfect bag. I think the main things are think about what you want to use it for. So if it's just sort of for getting around, then choose your small flat bag, long strap. But if it's for work or you know that you carry a lot of stuff, look for a thicker strap. Look for something that's got a little bit of structure that still looks gorgeous. And choose the right bag for the day.
Okay.
So, you know, and look, if you're travelling, I'm getting more and more prone to the cute bag and the wheelie.
The wheelie. Get the wheelie.
Okay.
Go
the wheelie.
Thank you so much, Anna-Louise. Stay with us. We'll be right back after the break.
Community pharmacist and medical herbalist Gerald Quigley is here to answer all your calls.
And later, it's all about the baby and healthy foods when eating for two.
There are certainly some foods that are really good for your baby's brain development.
All that and so much more. We'll see you after the break.
Okay, ladies, it's time to kick back and relax because we're rolling out the most comfortable chair on telly just for you. And thanks to our friends at B-Box, the makers of fun, functional baby essentials, it's all about the baby that's coming. Every week, we seek out a well-deserving mother-to-be and give her the 3 things that every pregnant woman craves. A large, luscious chair to rest in, a soothing foot massage from the lovely Rob, and the opportunity to ask our hand-picked panel of pregnancy experts a little early motherhood advice.
I've always been quite controlling and I probably overanalyze my body and my situation a lot, whereas I think pregnancy has taught me just to go with the flow and relax.
This is Leah and Pred, and despite Leah's newfound go with the flow attitude, she's confused by the sometimes conflicting nutritional advice that's out there.
I'm wondering what the best foods to eat during the 3rd trimester is. I've read that consuming a lot of fish oil and salmon, avocado, good fats is quite good for the brain development of the baby, so I'm just wondering if that's true. There are certainly some foods that are really good for your baby's brain development, and you mentioned fish, and you're absolutely right. The thing about fish is the larger the fish like sharks, they consume little fish, and that builds up the mercury content within their bodies. So that's why we advise 2 to 3 servings of fish a week. Focus more on the smaller fish, but look, at the end of the day, relax, eat a healthy, balanced diet. Don't get too concerned about it. Enjoy your pregnancy.
good levels of omega-3 not only help your baby's brain development and can help neurologically with sleep patterns even after the birth, that your baby can have slightly more mature sleep patterns because your omega-3 levels are great, but also it will help you. And there is evidence that there's lower levels of postnatal depression in women who have good levels of omega-3.
When the baby's inside you, they're gulping amniotic fluid, and that amniotic fluid tastes of what you had to eat about half an hour before. So babies are learning your taste preferences, and being little omnivores, they know that that is the way to eat safely. You only eat what my mother eats. What you should do is, both during the pregnancy and when you're breastfeeding, eat a wide variety of excellent, good quality food.
Now, I am coming into... No, I'm in my 3rd trimester.
Congratulations. Well done.
Thank you. I've made it so far.
Wonderful.
But I am wondering about the amount of fish I'm eating because I'm not really into red meat at the moment. Is there too much fish with the mercury situation?
Mercury is always a worry, especially in canned fish. So you can take a supplement. You're taking a pregnancy supplement. It will have some omega-3 in it. And that's probably the best way for you, bearing in mind your aversion to anything that smells like fish and looks like fish.
Fish. I love eating fish, so I can eat it, but just small amounts.
Small quantities, yes, and really the smaller the fish, the better. But your body will tell you what you need. But the omega-3 part, very, very important.
There we go. All right, hang in there. 3rd trimester.
Yeah,
Woo.
amazing.
Scary.
New parents-to-be, great news. 5 lucky viewers. B-Box, who are the makers of these fun, functional and everyday baby essentials, are giving away a great prize. It is the ultimate baby pack. Baby pack, baby pack. That's Beatbox, not B-Box. There's loads of goodies in here, though. Baby bottles, food feeders. Great stuff for both baby and mums. You're going to love these.
Yes, I'm excited about this. Just head to thehouseofwellness.com.au and in 25 words or less, tell us why this hamper pack will make your parenting life easier, and you could be in with a chance to win one of the 5 packs from B-Box.
Alrighty, let's get into some of your calls. Standing by on 1800 469 788. We go first to Lucy, who's in Manly. How can we help?
I suffer quite bad heartburn after every meal, and I just wondered if Gerald had any tips at all.
Yeah, a bit of sort of reflux, I guess.
Yes, and fairly common. And Lucy, slow down your eating process. Smaller mouthfuls, eat more slowly. But there is a herb, wonderful herb called slippery elm, which coats the top of your tummy and up into your esophagus. So it means that food, if there is any regurgitation, doesn't irritate. So slippery elm for you, Lucy.
Okay then, good one. Let's go to an email. It's from Gwen in Preston in Victoria. She's asked, my young granddaughter has the problem of continuously dry hands. Can you tell me what you would recommend?
I wonder why that's happening, Gwen, but there is a cream called a urea-based cream. That's a component of the skin, and if there are dry patches, it will fix them quite quickly. But it could be other things, but at this stage, let's repair the dry skin with a urea 10% cream.
We get the sweaty palms when we're nervous, don't we? That's
we do.
Going the other way. All right. Standing by is Amy in Coleroy, New South Wales. What's your question, Amy?
What shall I do with out-of-date medications?
Well, that's a great question.
They say pharmacists have no sense of humour, but it's called a RUM, R-U-M, Return of Unwanted Medicines, which are facility available at all pharmacies, Amy. You take your medicines back in, the pharmacist will look after them.
Interesting. Okay, and I have one more question. I'm seeing everybody on social media really fit while they're pregnant. It's a lot of pressure for women out there.
Yes, there is.
What and how much exercise should we be doing?
As much as comfortable, and it's got to be the exercise you enjoy most is the one that you're comfortable with. And there are lots of experts around who can, again, your body will tell you.
Okay.
If you're doing something that hurts, stop it. Just enjoy.
Like you, Ed, if it hurts, stop.
We'll see you back here a little bit later.
Thanks, GQ.
Yes.
And don't forget, everyone, you can find us at the House of Wellness, ourfavouriteplace.com.au. If you missed us last week, you can watch us there. And again and again and again and again.
Time lapse, watch your tummy grow.
Oh. Yeah, thanks. And while you're there, you can also drop Gerald a line by email or call us directly on 1800 469 788. And don't forget to like us on Facebook. We have such great information there, and you can enter that giveaway.
Yes.
We'll be back right after the break.
See you soon. Later on the show, if you're lacking energy, on the A to Z of vitamins, we'll discuss what iron will do for you.
And after the break, we find out the truth behind how you feel when you give up smoking.
It's definitely time. I'm getting older now.
See see you back here after the break.
Here we are in the middle of the city. And you notice one thing missing these days? Smokers. See, these days, if you want to find smokers, you've actually got to go hunting for them. And this is exactly the sort of place they've been relegated to. Back lanes, fire escapes, anywhere that's out of the way. And look at that. Evidence. But you know what? I reckon if we found the person who smoked this, they'd tell us they wish they could quit. What happens to your body when you give up smoking? Meet Gerald. He's 31 years old and has been smoking since he was 16.
I used to be really involved with fitness. I used to be on cross-country team. I did professional swimming even for a bit as well. And now, I mean, like 5 lengths and I'm out of breath.
He started smoking to fit in with the cool kids. Now he smokes at least half a pack every day. But he and his partner want to settle down and start a family. So his motivations for quitting run deep.
It's definitely time. I'm getting older now. If I don't do it now, then when am I going to do it, I suppose?
It's a tough gig, beating 16 years of addiction, but Gerald is determined. So the great news is, if you're ready to give up smoking, there are plenty of ways to go about it. Now, of course, there's cold turkey. It's probably the hardest of the lot, but it does work for some people. Otherwise, you can call the smoking helpline. There's meditation. There's also nicotine replacement therapies. That's patches and gums. Also, Nicorette have quick mist. Or you can try something that has worked for many, many people out there, hypnosis.
Hello, how are you?
Hey, great to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you. Come in, take a seat.
Brilliant, cheers.
Gareth is a quit-smoking hypnosis specialist. He himself was cured of addiction and anxiety by hypnosis some 10 years ago. He passionately believes in this therapy.
People have all these positive associations to smoking, whether it be in the morning, getting up and having a coffee. It might be, going out and having a drink, being social, maybe stress relief. They get a little bit worked up, go out and have a cigarette. And so they have these psychological associations, and those are the things that we break down and we remove in the state of hypnosis. So it's not just chemical, it's the psychological things as well.
There's no pendulum here, just music and words.
I'm going to count down from 3 to 0.
And if it works, how long will it take for Gerald to recover from 16 years of cancer sticks? So after just 2 hours of quitting smoking, your heart rate and blood pressure return to normal levels and the peripheral circulation begins to improve. After 12 hours, carbon monoxide levels decrease and blood oxygen levels return to near normal pre-smoking levels. Already, the risk of heart attack has decreased. Let's check back in with Gerald.
Deeper and deeper still. And if there are any stresses or strains...
He's well under, and with a success rate of 70% after just one session, things are looking up. At the 48-hour mark, both senses of smell and taste start to return as the nerve endings regrow. At 72 hours, nicotine levels start depleting. This is the time it's important to stay strong. But we all know how hard it is to quit. And at 31, Gerald is approaching the danger zone.
Often the cancer is already spread by the time we make the diagnosis.
I'm speaking with Associate Professor Lou Irving from Royal Melbourne. He's about to show me lungs that have irreversible emphysema damage from years of smoking.
Where there should be all the air sacs are now great big holes. It looks like a mining site. If people have early emphysema, it really is a red flag that they must stop.
And is it linked to cancer?
This is linked to cancer.
Smoking-related disease kills 2 out of every 3 long-term smokers. It is responsible for almost 90% of all drug-related deaths. So, I'm hoping this hypnotherapy session will give Gerald the momentum he needs to finally quit. Now, at the 9-month mark, the lungs start to replace damaged cilia. Breathing improves, as does lung capacity, and this point is where the addiction to nicotine has gone. There he is.
Hey, how's it going?
How are you feeling?
Good. It was very different, very relaxed. The music was amazing, and I zoned out, basically.
Do you mind if we check in with you in 2 weeks' time, see how you're feeling?
I like that.
OK, good luck. I hope it goes well.
Brilliant.
All right, mate. Speak to you then. Thanks,
Take care. Bye.
Well, from 7 Sunrise, we have seconded James Tobin back here to be our health snoops. Thanks for doing that.
3, 2, 1, and you're back in the room.
I feel good. This is interesting because my 4 older brothers were mad smokers from their teens, and I think they had such trouble trying to give up. Right?
Yeah.
They tried all sorts of things. They were worried about withdrawal. There's a few more options these days, aren't there?
Look, I found this story really fascinating, and there's so many ways you can try and quit. We ran through them in the story. You know, there's the smoking helpline. You can try cold turkey. That's quite tricky.
Tough.
And then there's nicotine replacement therapies and hypnosis, which is really fascinating because all of those things, like that incredibly high price that you pay for a packet of cigarettes these days, those pictures on the packet that look really gross, all of that stuff is designed to stop people starting. But they found that that doesn't really help you quit. You know, once you're addicted, that's not going to make a difference, even though you're spending all of this money and all of this health stuff. So it's important to maybe look at doing something else. I'm so fascinated to check in with Gerald because the hypnosis process was fascinating on the day, but we're a couple of weeks down the track now, and I want to know how he went.
Let's do it. We've got him dialing in via Skype. We have him by the banks of the Yarra. Hello there, G.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Well, where are you out and about? Did a little whip around there? Nice. Yarra looking sparkling today.
You're getting your health back. You are looking good. How are you? It's been a couple of weeks. How was the hypnosis?
It was amazing. It was hard to describe because I was very sceptical about hypnosis in the first place. We'll see, how can something just remove your habits of 15 years in just 45 minutes? But afterwards and until now, I've not had a craving once. I've not had one cigarette.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Not one cigarette.
Brilliant.
What about seeing other people smoke? Does that make you twitch a little bit? What are these withdrawals like?
It doesn't bother me at all. But my hands are like I should be doing something right now, like rolling a cigarette or something. It's a bit strange. But the last few days, like, I've completely forgot I even smoked.
That's amazing.
That is really incredible.
Reform smokers are quite funny, aren't they? Because they become quite evangelical. So I can taste this. You shouldn't be smoking. Are you preaching to anyone?
What's that, sorry?
Are you preaching to anyone now that you're an ex-smoker?
Oh, everyone. Everyone. I'm going around adding hypnosis. I've actually given out the guy's number, quite a few people who are really interested.
Have you started to get back into the fitness?
Yeah, I can run a lot faster now and further and without getting out of breath, like already. I can see a difference already.
Great, fantastic. All right, well, great success. Thanks for checking in with us. Appreciate that. Good story too, mate. Good work.
Fascinating. I'm so glad to hear that
it worked for him.
Yeah, 15 years gone in one session.
Let's hypnotise everybody to listen to us each Sunday morning. We are on the radio right around the country with Larry Emder. You can trust him. He is a friend. Gerald Quigley is there here on the House of Wellness across the country. 2GB, 3AW, 5AA, 6PR, and for our Brisbane listeners, catch us on 4BC as well.
And make sure you get a copy of our Lift Out. You can find it in store or in your favourite Sunday papers across Australia.
There it is. Have a read. There's a great story on Australian actress Anna Bamford, who's enjoyed a rapid rise. She talks about the highlight of her career being on Broadway with none other than Kate Blanchett and Richard Roxburgh, and keeping up a healthy lifestyle as well. OK, hope you can stick around. We've got more to come right after the break.
The A to Z of vitamins, we learn why your body requires iron.
We hear about life after Evie when former home and away star Philippa Northeast joins us in Summer Bay. On the sofa.
See you soon, back here at the House of Wellness. Welcome back to the House of Wellness, and a big welcome to our next guest, former home and away TV star, the very lovely Philippa Northeast. How are you going?
Good.
Pip, who conked you on the head?
Yeah, too competitive in AFL 9s, and this is what happens. No.
Wow, that's why I avoid sports. Now tell us, you are a very busy actress. How do you balance relaxation, your organic lifestyle?
Yeah.
I mean, meditation, all those things, and work.
Yeah, well, I think, as you mentioned, we can shoot 15-hour days, so it's really important to find a balance. And I try and go to yoga a few times a week. But I just listen to, like, if I'm feeling tired, I'll just go for a walk, just to be outside and eat well.
Yeah.
And try and move my body where I can.
For the younger ones of your ilk, you're seeing more health conscious. Have you got kind of advice for them about their health and fitness?
Yeah, I think it can be daunting to, you know, change your whole routine. So just start small, whether it's like a snack or just one product that's more natural and more organic. Just start small, and then when you can support yourself, go a bit bigger.
Yeah, of course. Now, talking products, you are the ambassador for Whatnot.
Yes, I am.
Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, so Whatnot is a beautiful skincare range that deals with natural and organic products and facial wipes, and they've just launched a beautiful self-tan that's all natural and has lovely oils like plum oils and camellia in there, and it smells so good and it feels good.
Yeah.
And you know that the planet's going to feel good for it as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And living organically is important to you, and sustainability, I guess, as well?
Yeah, it is. It is. I went to a Steiner school, which is an alternative form of education.
Thinkers.
Yeah. And so we do learn to be a little bit more responsible about our footprint in the world, and, you know, whilst looking after ourselves, looking after the planet at the same time. So, it's really important to me, and I want to spread that message where I can.
Isn't that good that lessons from school spill on into later life?
Into real life.
Maths, see you later, but sustainability, here I am.
No, I'm a big advocate for it too. So what are your favourite products with the brand?
I first got onto Whatnot when I was working on set of Home and Away, and we were wearing heavy makeups, and I wanted an easy portable face wipe that was natural but would take off all that heavy makeup. And I found these 100% natural facial Whatnot wipes, and they're beautiful, and they have aloe vera and rosehip oil, and they were things that I was already using in my routine.
Nothing stripping.
No, not stripping. It just kind of felt like you were putting on some lovely oils before you went to bed or whatever. So they're my favourite, but the tan now is gorgeous, and even for someone as fair as me, it just goes on naturally and streak-free, and
lovely.
So that's great.
Lovely. Now, you've been off our screens from Summer Bay for a little while, but working on a new movie. I don't know if we can say too much.
Yeah, I'm not allowed
to
say too much. But yeah, I'm about to start on a new film, an Aussie feature film, which is a really beautiful script and has some really important messages, so I can't wait to share more.
Great.
But
that's fantastic.
Yeah, some big themes.
And are you hoping to stay here for a while? Are you going to jet set off overseas and try your luck there too?
It depends where the stories are and the scripts and where the work is. So I'm open to whatever, but I love working here and I love
What about the horrors of auditioning, you know, role after role? Is it as tough as they say?
It is as tough as they say, but I think you've just, like doing yoga and meditation, you've just kind of got to get up and get going and just move on. And it's a very, you know, self-focused practice sometimes, particularly when you're auditioning and you're always thinking about yourself and what you look like and what you sound like. And so I've recently just got into pottery, so that's my quiet meditation where I can focus on something else.
What have you made recently?
Oh, you know, mugs and bowls.
And yeah. Do you do it with the pedal?
Yeah, the pedal, it's the wheel, the electric wheel. Yeah, yes.
And on your sort of show reel, is there a scene from Ghost?
Yeah, I'm thinking if there's a remake, hit me up.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, Love Life, Pip Northeast. I think if you ever meet a guy, he'll of course be called Southwest because opposite attracts.
Exactly. I can't, you know, not go with the compass theme. I've got to.
And then what will you do when you have a child? You can't steal Kanye and Kim's name.
I'm going to have to.
Good one.
I'm going to have to.
Good one.
We've been talking about it all day.
Yeah.
So interesting. It's so much happening in your life, and it's nice to see it come full circle with the organics and the sustainability.
Yeah, I think it's pretty important. I have now a large following, and I want to spread a good message. There's a lot of mixed messages and a lot of placed trust, and I just want to promote brands that I feel are doing the right thing and that I use too, which I do and love. And
Lovely to meet you. You're a breath of fresh air. Later in the break, we'll talk about what the jingle means. Are you home? Are you away? It doesn't make sense to me, but we'll sing it to ourselves.
Wow.
We'll get there.
I'll help.
Thank you, Pip.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
Stay with us. After the break, if you're lacking energy, the A to Z of vitamins is for you. Welcome back, everybody. A to Z of vitamins time now. There are many reasons that we feel exhausted, tired, drained of the will to live. However, you might be able to help us out.
Yeah, Ed, look, it's very important. We underestimate iron. It's sort of an old-fashioned type mineral, but many people don't get enough iron. It's so important for transport of oxygen.
Yep.
People with restless legs, very common these days. People whose legs constantly twitch through the night usually shows an iron insufficiency. So they're not really badly deficient, but not enough. Helping children grow, helping them thrive. And the way we get around that is we focus on green leafy vegetables, healthy red meat, and there are supplements available which need vitamin C to help the absorption of the iron in your body. Yes.
Should you take a vitamin C supplement with your iron?
Better irons have the vitamin C with them, Zoe, so you don't have to take 2 lots.
Okay.
So it just makes it easier. But often fatigue, if you feel tired, often iron will make a difference, but don't just rush in and take a lot of iron. If you're concerned, it's a good idea to have a blood test done, which is quite routine from your doctor.
All right. Now, great response too. We watched that smoking story with the hypnosis and so on. If that doesn't work for you, any other options?
As G said, another G, as he said, there are lots of options available, and it might be a patch, it could be a spray. We're trying to satisfy receptors in our mouth, nicotine receptors, and that's the idea of the spray. But any tool that you can use to help you on that withdrawal pathway has got to be good, because you can end up living longer and living better.
Okay, no worries. Now let's grab a couple more of your calls. We've still got time today. Tom is standing by patiently in Maroubra, New South Wales. Hey, Tom.
I've got pretty bad dandruff, even after washing my hair. Is there anything you can do to help?
Was dandruff shampoos?
Yes, there are. Some of those that can be a bit severe though, Ed, because as the skin regenerates, you wipe it off with an irritating shampoo. There are a couple of ranges available, and Tom, I see there's a range called So Easy, which is quite outstanding for people with psoriasis or eczema where it's on their scalps, and some omega-3, fish oil, krill oil, eat more fish, so you're moisturising from inside. And in the wintertime, please, Tom, wear a hat. Just keeps your scalp warm.
Okay. Combating it from within. All right. Email. We have Yvonne in Highgate Hill who sent this through from Queensland. I have recurring cold sores. I believe there are vitamins you can take to build up resistance. What do you recommend?
Immune function is what it's all about, Ed. Cold sore sufferers need lysine. That's the amino acid. And lysine can be depleted if you eat nuts or you eat chocolate, because it actually supplies one of the interventions that involves lysine. So if you're a regular cold sore sufferer, you take regular lysine and you step the dose up quite dramatically if you feel that first little tingle. So as soon as you feel the trigger, get on to the high dose lysine.
Great show today. We learned a lot.
We did. My favourite, meeting another Philippa.
Oh, of
1 L and 2
course.
P's.
Dr. Tim teaching me how to be a good mum.
Oh dear, so many highlights. If you're looking for love and your name's Northeast, head southwest.
Oh, goodness.
Before we go, thank you to everyone who's been on the show, all our fabulous guests. Big thanks, of course, to our friends at Chemist Warehouse for getting behind us at the House of Wellness too.
Enjoy your week. We'll see you next time.
My favourite beach ball. See you soon.